going on, guys? Snaggy here with my top 8 prediction videos. Look, I don't think I could be more excited for this season. It is wide open for me. I think anyone who finishes in the top 4 can genuinely win the comp this year. I think most teams, honestly, can finish in the top 4. You know, if we just look at Canberra last year, a lot of people had them last. They finished first. I feel like this is the first season since I've been doing YouTube anyway where it is genuinely wide open. I actually don't see a wooden spoon team. I think the wooden spoon team is going to be one that just things don't go right for. There's scandals, coach, you know, just stuff that happens to a club rather than just they've got a terrible roster. And I'm excited, man. I really, really am. I cannot wait for this one at all. I cannot wait for Vegas. I'm going to go down and get me a real nice bottle of top shelf whiskey and just sip on that bad boy all day. I absolutely cannot wait. Now, before we get to the video, guys, my tipping comp is live. I'd love to see you in there, guys. It was mad banter last year. I don't know what I'm going to do for a prize yet. I will think of something. This preseason snuck up on me, man. It snuck up on me real quick. So I will think of something. I'm not too sure what I'll do. Maybe some grand final tickets or something if you live in Sydney. I'm not too sure, but I'll think of something. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this one. If you can, guys, I do have a goal this year to hit 20,000 subs. And just for this video only, guys, I never do this, but can you like this video? And when you click like, a button should pop up that says hype. I don't know what, I'll never ask you to do this again. But if you could hype this video, just so I can see what it does. I'm not too sure what it does, but I want to see if it like, apparently get ranked and it like push. I don't know, man, but if you could just do that, that would mean a lot to me, man. It really would. Now, I will be putting my minor premiership bet down live here. I don't think anyone else is tipping this team to win the minor premiership. I like being different. You know, it's paying really good. I'm going to put a band down, and it's paying a lot. It's paying a lot, guys. So stay tuned for that one. All my futures are on Dabble. I mentioned this in my last video. I will be using other bet agencies as well, but I'll always put something down on Dabble so you can easily copy it. And yeah, I do love the banter and stuff in there too, guys. So if you want to join Double, use a link in the description. Make sure you join our Discord, link in the description. Tipping comp link will be in the description. Go hit the subscription, boys. No, subscription. Description. Go hit the description, chat. What else we got? I just want to stress this before I actually reveal this top 8 team. I don't think there's a bottom. I've just mentioned a minor premiership, a wooden spoon favourite. I know there is, but I think any team can make the top 8. I think there's teams that won't make the top 4, and I think there's teams that cannot win the comp, stuff like that. But I actually think any team can actually do it. A lot of the teams that I think are going to be bottomish have pretty good draws and stuff like that. And they have enough firepower if they get a bit lucky with no injuries and all that sort of stuff that they can make it, guys. So take my top 8 with an absolute grain. Take this one with an absolute grain of salt. I'm very confident in parts of it, but I really, really can't stress how wrong I could be, if that makes sense. And don't get cranky at me. Now, how I've picked these as well is strength of schedule. I put a bunch of stuff into AI. I normally just do it myself, but nothing crazy, but just how many times they play top 4 teams, top 8 teams, bottom 4 teams, 5-day turnarounds, yeah, home and away records, bits and pieces like that, mixed in with a little bit of last year's form, mixed in with a little bit of mixed in with last year, a little bit of trial form, and then obviously just my goddamn opinion. All right, so a little bit of that too. So that's how I do them. Now, once I click this button, you're going to see my whole bottom 9. Again, hear me out. Now I've just got to pull up my strength of schedule so I can sort of explain my madness. St George Illawarra Dragons. Again, I actually won a lot of games by less than 6 points. Last year, my main thoughts is I wasn't impressed with their trial form as well, obviously. They actually have a pretty hard draw. So they've got the 5th hardest draw, play plenty of top 8 teams from last year. I think they're a year away, and I'm not a huge Flanagan fan. I'm loving the new coaches. I'm not a lot of these old school coaches. I just don't know if they're connecting with the younger players. I'm not too sure if they're adapting to the rule changes as well as some of the younger coaches are. Just think about it. Like some guys like Flanagan, stuff like that, they probably retired 20, 30 years before the 6 again rule even, you know what I mean? Before they, maybe not 20, 30, but you know what I mean, even came into play, you know? So, yeah, just not feeling his team selection, stuff like that. And one thing that just bugs me, bro, like, why is Clint Gutherson winning all your fitness, man? Like, winning all your drills and stuff. Like, I keep hearing about all these young guns coming through. Why is a 35-year-old busted hip, busted groin, busted knee, busted ankle dude winning all your stuff? Like, that's not cool, man. And before you say he's a back and there forwards, Gilbert wins all the fitness. Ruben Cotter comes second. You know, like, come on, man. Like, I want to see these young guns in action. I keep hearing about these young guns. I get little flashes. But I think Dragons are a year away. I think they'll be pretty nice next year. If, for me, a goal for this year would hopefully be scrape into the 8 and then build for next year. But we'll see. Now, like I said, the order of this, I actually put it into AI, like what is the chances of getting all 17 in a row right? For the ladder, and it was literally, there was a lot of zeros. There was a dot and then a lot of zeros. So pretty much you're more likely to win the lotto twice than pick all 17 in a row. So, but what I am sort of hoping is I can get everything in its right bracket, if that makes sense. So I do think St George are going to be in that bottom bracket. Newcastle Knights, they have a relatively, now where was their, they have a pretty hard draw. They're about 11th. They're pretty easy draw. It's about the 11th easiest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th easiest. They've got so much money dumped into they've got about 20 to 25% of their cap covered by 2 players. I've always said I think Dylan Brown's a Robin, not a Batman. I love guys like Sharp and Hunt and all these guys. They look incredible, but I don't think that to get into the top 8, you need to be consistent, man. And I just don't think they can be consistently good. A little light in the middle forwards and an unproven coach. That's my main thoughts on that one, guys. Having said that, the strike they do have, and if Dylan Brown can bring this calming sort of consistency to that team, they could finish in the top 8, man. Like, I really do think that. So, but not holding my breath. Manly, Sea Eagles, they were way up here for me before the trials, and they just kept falling and falling and falling. Fogarty, I had a lot of people saying his defense sucks, and I was like, bro, it's all right. Bro, he got bathed, bro. Did not look good. Didn't look like he fit that system very well. I'm a huge Fogarty fan. Huge Fogarty fan. I've said it for a while. I think he's the most underrated 7 in the comp. Not the best or anything like that, but very, very solid. It just didn't look right to me. And again, just speaking about coaches, Seabolt looked like he didn't know what to do at the end of that game today. Some shining lights there, but this year I'm just Turbo. Obviously, I don't know. It just didn't look right to me. Olakawatu will come back. All 3 Travojeviches will come back, but not holding my breath, guys. Now, where are they as far? Now, one thing you can be very, very happy about is they do have the 3rd easiest draw, so they can easily play finals this year. Like, very, very easily play finals. So we'll see how they go, but I was just not impressed, and also, yeah, I'm not a fan of Seabolt, man. So we'll see how it all goes. A little light in the middle too, but I tell you what, that front rower they've got, I've completely spaced on his name. Big fella. 19-year-old, he's the best young middle forward I've seen since Payne Haas. He is incredible. Knocks out 170 metres last week, and then he comes in this week and just first carry knocks out Kepi. Like, Jesus. Wow. What a beast. On to the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, this one I could be horribly wrong with. Now, where are they as far as strength of schedule? They have a pretty hard draw. They have the 6th hardest draw. So, pretty hard draw. Possible, what's called Vegas hangover. Not a huge fan of what Todd Payton has been doing. However, very impressed with what he did in the preseason. Cowboys fans, you'll back me up on this. I have just been shocked at some of his selections. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Hang on, guys, one sec. Yep, cool. Like, what are you doing? Like even just stuff like the Tamalolo, like playing him for 15 minutes and not putting him back on. You know, like I know Tamalolo is not the same player, but he's a massive. I've heard this directly from someone that knows, that is in the inner sanctum at the Cowboys. And they said when JT talks, everybody listens. You need him on the field, bro. He said he doesn't talk much, but when he does, everyone listens. I can't remember which game it was, but there was a game last year where they were getting pumped. You guys might be able to. I think it was towards the end of the year. I got told this story directly from someone there. And apparently at halftime, JT went in, and he never does this, sprayed them, and then they came out and won the second half. So, yeah, anyway. Also, just ones like Purdue was scoring a try whenever he felt like it out in the centres. Clifford looking good. Didn't give, Clifford and Dearden the time to work together. Panics, gets him out, puts Purdue in the middle. Purdue doesn't do anything at 6. You get what I'm saying, right? Just silly stuff where we're sitting here going, what are you doing, man? You're a head coach. But apparently he has sacked all his support staff because some of those decisions he was making were so ridiculous. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he was getting some bad advice. And I will admit, all his decisions in the preseason looked very good. So I'm very optimistic about North Queensland Cowboys. Cowboys fans, I'm actually a Cowboys supporter now for obvious reasons. So up the Cows. I hope I'm wrong here. Hope you go good, all right? On to the Gold Coast Titans. Very, very impressed with their preseason as well. Hene looks like he knows what he's doing. The only reason I've put them here is they are a little untested. Will they be able to do it week in, week out? They have a very, very hard draw, 4th hardest draw. But I'm very... Hene, man. Hene looks like he knows what he's doing. Brimson and Campbell looked awesome. You're going to have Kinney back. Mo Fodawaker looked good and fit. It just looked right. Similar to what I was talking about with the Cowboys, how everything looked right with them in the preseason. It just looked right for the Titans. So very optimistic for them. I'd love to see them play finals again, guys. I can't put you in because I don't trust you yet, but very optimistic for the Titans. But Titans fans, I need something from you, all right? You can bring a sign that says Snag sucks, but I picked this for the wooden spoon last year. If you start winning games, can you please go to the games? I'm sick of seeing blue seats in that joint. Just fill the stadium with people saying Snag sucks or something. But you got to... Sick of seeing those blue seats there, guys. So hopefully the Titans fans can get behind them because it's been a rough trot. West Tigers, so impressed, man. They got Jonah Lamu on the left. This is what I was saying, boys. I don't to see how I'm these teams are at the bottom and I'm sitting here just saying nothing but positive things about them pretty much, but picking a couple of things. I honestly think every one of these teams can make it. Obviously they can't, so that's why there's teams not in it. You can only pick 8. There's more teams miss than make it. But it's cool, man. I'm so pumped for this season. West Tigers, I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I love your football team. I hate your football club. I just do not trust the West Tigers to be able to go through a season without something going diabolically wrong. A board member doing this. Firing Benji of something. You know what I mean? I can't do it, bros. However, Dewey at 7 looked incredible. Luai, the in and out on Cleary. They've got Tyler May and Jonah Lamu on one side. Oh, my Lord. Fanua Pole, Bole, Tyrrell May to come back. They got the Bunty effect. Oh, the Fanau. Oh, they're a top 8 team on paper. Let's see if they can make it. I'm happy to be proven wrong here. Up the Tigers. And Tigers fans as well. You guys better bloody get to the... I know you pack out them tiny little stadiums, but you guys have games at Bankwest and stuff like that as well. I want to see them crowds roll in if he's get hot, all right? I really do. How good would it be if Tigers fans make it? It'd be so good. Parramatta Eels. Copy and paste what I said about the Tigers. I love this football team. Don't trust the football club. I think Mitchell Moses is almost a shoo-in for the Dally M. They've got an awesome mix of size, speed. They're probably an outside back or two short of being elite. But Man, they look good. Pezzett looks good. Moses looks good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Parramatta fans, I'm rooting for you. Game 1 against the Melbourne Storm, I tell you what. I'm absolutely rooting for you. And shout out to the Parramatta Eels for standing their ground on this one and not allowing Melbourne Storm to bully them into a result as well. I think... And shout out to the Melbourne Storm fans as well. I've seen so many Melbourne Storm fans being like, we shouldn't be doing this. We don't want this guy. You know, so... yeah, shout out to the Eels, man. I'd love to see them and the Bulldogs. It's like my dream to see them have another finals game again. You know, both be good at the same time. Usually one's good and the other one sucks. They never happen at the same time. So hopefully, or very rarely, happen at the same time. I think they clashed in 2009. I think that was a big one. But that'd be my dream. Now on to the South. Sydney Bunnies. Now, reason why I took you to not play finals is second hardest draw. 7 top 4 teams from last year. 12 top 8. 1 5-day turnaround. Not a bunch of games against the bottom 4 teams. So very, very hard draw. I love this team. I was so impressed with that trial. Not as like if it was a 10, like people were giving that performance a 10 out of 10. I probably don't. Manly were pretty poor and also had 12 men and what was it, 12 points in the. I think they scored a late try in the half actually. Probably should have put a bit more of a score on them. But the only issue I'm a little bit worried about with the Bunnies is it is a very top heavy roster. And I feel like it's a delicate ecosystem. I tried to explain it in my TikTok video and a couple people replied. South Sydney fans obviously not agreeing with me, which is fine. But I'll try and break it down a little bit better here because I can talk a bit longer. So every team has a player or two that goes down and your team gets lowered. I feel like just Bunnies have a lot of those. I feel like they get weakened very easily. For example, right, Dave Fafita, obviously beast, very rarely stays on the field for a full season. He looked incredible, but... Next thing, Cody Walker absolutely looked the best he's ever looked, but 37. Just say Cody Walker goes down, right? I saw someone say, yeah, but then Humphries can come. I'm not saying no one can come in. I know you got backups. I'm just saying if Cody Walker goes down, you literally lose all of your experience in the halves. You lose the best ball player in the game. Doesn't matter whoever comes in isn't going to be as good a ball player. And then... The only way you're probably not getting a better ball player is maybe if Scott Drinkwater or you know what I mean. Like there's not many ball players as good as Cody Walker. Obviously you saw how sharp his running game looked as well. So you're losing a lot there. Cam Murray goes down. All of a sudden your middle's big and slow. And I said, well, if Cam Murray goes down, we can put Jai Arrow or we could put. I'm like, bro, they're not close to Cam Murray in the middle. Cam Murray is the best middle forward for getting your sets going. He's not the best, like as good a ball player and stuff as Yo, but and then and Trell, if Trell goes down, it's a big loss. Even if Jai Gray goes down, now all of a sudden you're pretty slow through the middle. You're going to lose a lot of those running meters if Latrell goes back there. You get what I'm saying? I feel like they can get weakened very, very easily, and I still think they'll win games, but will they win enough to make the top 8 with the second hardest schedule in the league? And I could, there's limited spots I could do, and for me, I was like, I don't think they do. If something horribly does go horribly wrong, I think they could be in a little bit of trouble. Now, the other thing as well, obviously, people just assume we're all fit and healthy now. Just remember too, I've heard a lot of stuff about South Sydney Rabbitohs sports science department doing very outdated things, and they do have the most soft tissue injuries. A lot of guys come in and then they go straight back out again. I mean, how long was... Yeah, anyway, a lot of guys come in and out a lot, so maybe they fix that. I'm not in the inner sanctum or anything like that, but just for those reasons, I couldn't put them in, but they could finish in the top 4 easily. And if you're in the top 4 this year, you're a chance to win in the comp. So Canberra Raiders, look, man, they actually have a pretty easy draw. There's 2 things I didn't put them in my top 8 for. Number 1. They didn't play a trial game, and they're not set on their halves yet, or we haven't seen their halves yet in action. that means they're going to be testing things at the start of the year. Every single competition point is valuable in this comp. If they're testing and trying things at the start of the season, they could lose points. Points come off the table very, very quickly. And the other thing was as well, Fogarty. I know I just sort of sat there and ragged on him when I was talking about the Manly. But at the end of the day, they went from a 39% win rate team to a 70% win rate team with him in and out of the team. He is now out of the team. I have to assume that they're going to come back down to that 40%. Maybe they don't. But I just couldn't do it. I had to put him in at 9th. They have a pretty easy draw, third easiest draw, so they could easily finish in the top 8 again, possibly win the minor premiership again, who knows, but we'll have to see. But I just think it might take a little while for them to get going, and they're going to be the hunted now as well. They won the minor premiership last year. All right, guys, let's get on to the top 8. Here is my top 8, guys, and I have the Cronulla Sharks minor premiers. I'm going to do it the other way now. I'm going to start from top and work my way down. Now, hear me out. I have to explain this one, obviously. All right, so Cronulla Sharks are paying 15-1 to win the comp. I am going to put this down right now. 1,000 buckaroonies, paying $15,000. All right. Oof, it's a lot of money. All right, hear me out. I'll put the minor premiership prices up here so we can have a look. Brisbane Broncos being minor premiers is the laziest booking I've ever seen. Oh, they won last year, so they won minor premier. No, I'm not saying they can't. Of course they can, but no. Are you kidding? They came 4th last year. They came 4th last year on for and against. All right, let me bring that up too. Let's. Who's your minor premierships too, guys? But look, Sharkies finished equal 4th, lost on for and against. All right. They have the easiest draw. They play. So let me explain this one too. They have the easiest draw. They play the top 8 teams, the top 4 teams 5 times. They play Melbourne Storm round 27, possibly resting players. They play the Broncos the week before State of Origin, so all their State of Origin players are going to be out. They don't have any. Maybe AFB and Brayley this year, maybe. They also play the Roosters the week after State of Origin, so they'll be bringing players back or possibly resting players. I think they have to take Penrith Panthers on full strength, but you get what I'm saying? And the Bulldogs is the other one. Like, Bulldogs are good, but like, does anyone think that Cronulla can't beat them? You know what I'm saying? The other thing that really jumped out at me too, close the bloody tab. So there's another couple of things. Number one, they have I think they had an 80 or 82% win rate at home. Huge. They also pump the bottom teams. So that, you know what I mean? That sometimes Panthers beat bottom teams by 12 points and stuff like that. They quite often put 40 on them. You know, that goes in their favour too. If it is close, they could win on for and against as well. So I really see them with a really clear path. By far the easiest draw. Incredible at home. No State of Origin players, if maybe 1 or 2. Halves look good. I think the 6-man bench is going to favour them more than anyone because they have such quality bench forwards. You know, like anyone can put 4 big forwards on the bench, but can you put Uele, Rudolph, who's the other one? Talakai and Kafusi. What? And then you have your other 2 as your rotational ones. If they're not needed, you don't play them. So they can just power game, depth. It's crazy. This is the last year for the Sharkies to do anything as well. I don't think they're going to win the comp. I just definitely think they can. Those top 8 teams I mentioned before, they can lose all those and still win the minor premiership. Sharks can lose every game to a top 4 team and still win the minor premiership comfortably. That's how biased the draw. Not biased. That's how much of a cruisy run they have. If they just pump all the teams from 5th down, they're sweet. So that's my thoughts behind it, guys. Hope it makes sense. But it's just there for them. And at $15, bro. Let's break this down. A team that came 4th last year has the easiest draw. 2 of their hardest games. 3 of their hardest games could possibly be just absolute walkthroughs. What? $15? Lazy bookie in, boys. Get onto it. Get onto it. Onto the Sydney Roosters. Love them. I think they're going to go very, very good this year. The reason why I didn't put them as my minor premiers, I think just looking them play in Parramatta, it looks like it might take them a little while to get going. For example, I think they're playing Warriors first round. I'm taking the Warriors for sure. I just think, just like last year, it took them a little while to get going, But once they work it out, I think they'll be fine. Just going off the trials, what's his name? Sam Walker was incredible, right? But he was individually incredible. Structure-wise, they were terrible, bro. Teddy got no touches. What's his name? DCE looked like he didn't know what he was doing. You know what I mean? It was so clunky. Like, he kicked a beautiful 40-20, individual brilliance. He came off his right foot. The reason why he came off his right foot and scored that brilliant try is because they botched what they were doing on the outside. I loved Robson being in this team, and he's going to be out for a little while. I just think it's going to take a little while for it to click, but I think they're going to be very, very good still. Brisbane Broncos, they have you right up there. Relatively, they got a middle strength draw. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. We'll see. We'll see. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. But just remember, guys, this comp, what I'm talking about, not the final series, the minor premiership, this competition, isn't about being the best team. It's about being the most consistent. It's about winning games you're supposed to win, winning the games that you probably should win, and winning enough of the games against top 8 teams that you finish on top. So Broncos, as great as they were last year, they weren't the most consistent team. I think we can all agree with that. But they came very good at the end there. Coming back from England, we'll see how they sort of adapt straight away. They got a very lucky break with Nathan Cleary being suspended. I'm not saying they were going to lose if he was playing, but that makes the task a lot easier, right? But the Broncos should be there or thereabouts. Panthers, look, I think Panthers are going to be awesome this year, but they have they have the hardest draw by a mile. They play every top 4 team twice. They play all top 8 teams 14 times and only play the bottom 3 teams. Was it 4 or 3 times? Wow, that's terrible. 5-day turnaround. They also don't have a home ground. It's going to be tough, but they're the Panthers. They win close games. You've got the best halfback in the world in their team, and I wouldn't put it past them to just win enough games to get into that top 4. So they're going to be a threat no matter what. So we'll see how they go. But that is such a hard draw. They got anyone that thinks that Penrith get biased, just look at this draw, and then look at Cleary getting 2 weeks with possibly 3 weeks for that tackle. Bro, that was not bad at all. Like, man, that is crazy. You got a week with an early guilty plea get off maybe, but like 2 and 3, that is crazy. But anyway, he hit him in the head, but like barely. Like, jeez. Melbourne Storm, they could have some issues, man. Look, man, I tell you what, if they lose to Parramatta round 1, they haven't lost a round 1 game in about 20 years. If they lose this, the castle could crumble. But like guys like Coatsy out, I wasn't overly impressed with how they looked through trials, obviously. But they're I won't have this stuff about Melbourne Storm falling off. I just can't have it, I still think they're going to be a consistent team. Where they've got a pretty hard draw, 3rd hardest draw, plenty of top 4 teams they've got to play, but I still think they're going to be there or thereabouts. You're just an idiot if you just don't think they're going to hang around, Or you say it, but you've been saying it for 20 years, and it took you 20 years to get it right, Yeah, Melbourne Storm could be a tough trot for them this year. It could be. But I don't see... They're just such a classy outfit. I don't see them falling out of the 8. Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now, your draw is right in the middle there. Where is it? It's about the 12th. Oh, it's actually pretty easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, It's the 5th easiest draw. I actually got a pretty easy draw. 6 top 4 teams, 11 top 8. So pretty easy. Bulldogs are consistent. I'm expecting them to bank wins. I'm expecting them to beat the teams they're supposed to. And yeah, I don't have a huge amount to say about them. They lose Leo Thompson. You guys know what my thoughts on the Bulldogs. I think they're a quality outfit. I like tipping them because I know what I'm going to get every week. They won the most games as underdogs last year just for ripping in, you know. Do they have the class to go any higher? Of course, they did it last year. But, yeah, we'll just have to see. I think, man, I tell you what, like, just being real, Bulldogs are a shout for the minor premiership as well. They're paying $15 as well. They could easily win the minor premiership. What did I say a few minutes ago? Winning this competition is all about consistency. They've got a pretty easy draw. And you know what you're going to get every week. So if you like the Bulldogs to win the minor premiership, I wouldn't take them to win the comp, but to win the minor premiership, it's a good shout as well. But yeah, so everyone else speaks about the Bulldogs so much. I've said my thoughts on it. I don't feel the need to repeat it a whole heap. Leo Thompson's a good addition. Everyone knows I'm not as big a fan of him as a lot of other front rowers, but he's a big body. Guys like Satilli have to stay on the park, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I love the Bulldogs for a top 8, possibly top 4, and possibly even a minor premiership. I really do think they're going to be there. Dolphins, my smoky for a top 4. I can't put them in there, but definitely my smoky for a top 4. They finished. Were they 1 win behind? 1 win behind 8th place last year. Best offense, very flimsy defense. They get Flegler, they get Gilbert, they get Cobbo. That's 3 State of Origin players being dropped into their team. I don't think people are really realising that because 2 of them actually were already at the club. But if you actually think about it like that, Dolphins are getting 3 State of Origin players this year. And they finished 1 win outside the 8. If those 3 State of Origin players get them 1 win, they finish in the top 8. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they would have smoked 9th on for and against. They just need 1 win. They need those 3 State of Origin players to give them 1 win. That's it. And that's all I really need to say about the Dolphins. All right? So, on to the Wars. Where's their draw? Where are they? Wars have the second easiest draw. Okay? They've got to fix up that right edge. They've got to find the balance of playing footy without being risky. They played too conservative for me last year. They need to get Barnett back ASAP. They need Metcalf back in this team. They need both those guys in this team before round 7, before round 8. If both those end up dragging out closer to State of Origin magic round time, I'm going to be very, very nervous on this. They've got the best home court advantage in the game. They've got the biggest turnout, best atmosphere, all that sort of stuff. They should play finals, and I'm hoping they do. And I'm hoping they do good. I'm hoping they finish better than 8th. I hope they get another home final, finish 5th, 6th, 1st or 2nd. That's my goal for the Wars. But they have to get everyone on the park, and I was very confident about the Wars finishing in the top 8. Then they got some holes. I knew Metcalf and Barnett were out, right? But I thought they were out until about round 3. It looks like it's going to be a little bit longer. Not too much, but a little bit longer. As I said, these premiership points are precious. And then they've lost a bit of depth since, you know. But I'm not 100% sure where that's all at, but a few guys going down and stuff like that. But Wars and Dolphins played each other this weekend, and they both looked like they had similar problems. Both of these teams have to fix up their consistency if they want to scrape into the 8 at all. But Warriors were very consistent last year. They only really fell off right at the end of the year. So they were in the top 4 all year, guys. All year. So I have no doubts they can do it again. They do have the softish draw. a good home ground. They've got quality players everywhere. They just need to find some consistency, fix up that edge defence on the right-hand side, I think it was, and they should be just fine, guys. That's it. We're done. Right, so let me know your thoughts on these. I'd love to hear your guys' top 8s, all that sort of stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.